Hi all. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, hitting the like button. I have an epic video for you guys. I've been thinking about this for a while and I wanted to sit down and rank every single Pat McGrath product in my collection. Yes, you heard that right. There is a lot. I own more Pat McGrath than any other brand on the market, bar none. And I can safely say that I have pretty much tried every single product that she has, with the exception of a few. And I can name those literally off the top of my head because I know for a fact that I haven't tried them. But the majority of it, if you scroll her website, I've tried and I either own or have owned. So we're gonna go from my least favorite product to my most favorite product. Let's get into it. First up on the list is my least favorite item, and that is the Pat McGrath Perma Precision Liquid Eyeliner. I think of everything in my collection, this is the thing that I despise the most. That sounds terrible, but it's true. And when I say the most, I mean like the majority of the things in my collection from Pat McGrath, I really enjoy. There's a few misses, but there's not a lot at all. But this for me, and this is why it ranks last, is the thing that I actually literally despise. I hate this product. It does not work for me. If you can make this work for you, this liquid liner, let me know. I think the issue for me is that it's a felt tip liner, and felt tip liners and I don't generally get along. I prefer a brush tip liner. I just feel like for me, this product, it skips when I apply. I don't feel like I get that opaque of a finish from the liner once it dries down, and it fades. So I wind up getting these very jagged edges because I can't get a clear, crisp line, and then on top of that, it fades around, over time. This liner makes me feel like I don't know how to do liquid liner. And let me just say, I'm not like an expert at liquid liner, but I've been doing it for enough years now that I know how to do a wing. This makes me feel like I don't know how to do a wing because every time I use this product, my wings look insane. And I tried it recently and I even wore it in a video, and I just hated the way my liner looked. And that was sort of like the final straw with this product. So I'm going to be doing a mid-year declutter, and this will be decluttered. I can pretty much guarantee. Is the Liquid Lust Legendary Wear Matte Lipstick, and I have the shade Spellbound. Now, for me, this product is it's a liquid liner. I mean, liquid lipstick. There's nothing amazing about it. I used to wear nothing but liquid lipstick. I was a liquid lipstick connoisseur. I have tried a million formulations of liquid lipstick, so I feel like I can come from a place of authority when I say that I don't think there's anything special about this. I found that it didn't actually even last all that long on my lips. I didn't find it to be that comfortable. The formula, and I can show you guys the shade if you want to know what Spellbound looks like. It's like a rosy pink tone. So that's the shade there. And I just wasn't impressed by this. I don't necessarily feel like she even needed this in her collection. I feel like liquid lipsticks are not the thing anymore, and when she came out with hers, they were already fairly out and people were pretty much back on the bullet lipstick train. So I just feel like this is not something that's necessary in her collection, and I don't think it's necessarily necessary for your collection. Even if you love liquid lipsticks, I think there are better formulas at cheaper price points than this. Next up is the product that I have been bitching and moaning about the most lately, guys, and you know it is the Divine Blush Duos, and mine is in Paradise Glow. And you know why. If you watch my channel on a regular basis, you know I dislike this product. If you are new to my channel, I will tell you why I dislike this product. There's nothing wrong with the formula. The formula's lovely. I will say that these two shades together are incredibly samey. Like, this shade is so light that once you blend these two together, this one is non-existent on the face. You're just getting this shade here. So I think that this should have been a different texture. Maybe this should have been like a blush with a little bit of shimmer in it, like some of her blushes from her singles blush collection, or this should have had a little bit of something else going on, or a little bit deeper. The main issue I have with this, outside of that, which I do think is an issue, I think that these duos are too samey, the tones in the pans together. Once you blend them together, it just looks like you have one singular blush on. There's nothing, no kind of dimension. Outside of that, the main issue I have with this is a repeat shade that she did not let people know from the jump was a repeat shade. And I purchased this not realizing that I already own this shade. So for me, I'm not going to get a lot of use out of this. I kind of feel like I wasted my money a bit, and that is why it's so low in the ranking. Again, the formulation, why it's higher than the other two products, is because there's nothing wrong with the formulation. I just feel like, again, repeat product without letting customers know, and also samey. This is sort of a compilation of items because they all came together. So this is one of the kits that she first came out with and then she re-released, and I purchased it when she re-released it, but it is the, I don't even know where she calls this kit, but this comes, the one that comes with the ultra blue violet pigment. Look how pretty that is. This pigment is stunning. But it also came with like the gel topper that's very like shimmery and beautiful, and then this kind of has like a duochrome shift to it. Then you have the Astro White pigment, and I will show this to you guys. And this, it's white, but it has a bit of a blue shift, which the camera's not picking up very well, but it has some blue to it. And then it came with this, which is the Mercury pigment, and I will swatch this as well for you, which is just like this silvery, this like really, you can call it like a warm tone silver or a really cool tone gold. It just kind of depends on how what you pair it with. And then it also came with this black dark matter pigment, and this is probably my least favorite item out of this little kit because it's incredibly dry and incredibly hard to work with. So that is the black pigment, and this is basically to be used as a base for a lot of those other items. And then it comes with the I think this is the smudge proof. Is this the smudger? Yeah, so this is the smudge eye kohl, and this is what it looks like. This I actually like. It's a little fussy sometimes because it's kind of, I don't know if you can hear that shake. It's not quite stable in the tube, but I like this. And when I do like an all black eye look, this is something that this is what I will use as a base and then go over. The reason why I'm ranking this so low is that I just don't get a lot of use out of these products. They're great to have. This is like a classic Pat McGrath like kit. This is like the first thing she came out with before she even came out with her motherships. So it's just it's a bit of like having a bit of like makeup history in a way. So I enjoy having it, but it's not something that I get a lot of use of. And I would say that the weak link in it is the black pigment, but it's not a bad kit overall. Then we have the highlighter balm duo, and I have it in the shade Golden, and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the side that has the gold balm highlighter, or highlighter rather, and then this side has the clear balm. They're both balmy. I would say this is very dry. I purchased this on sale a while ago, and I got it just so I was tipping my toes into like cream bronzers that weren't powder, or excuse me, highlighters that weren't powder. And this is one of the first ones I purchased. This is what the shade looks like. I will swatch it on my hand so you guys can see. It's pretty, but it's very subtle, and it's actually very hard to pick up on a brush. I kind of struggle with this a bit. So I feel like you can apply with your hands, but it might lift a bit from the products that you have underneath. And then I feel like with a brush, you just don't get enough product. So for me, this is kind of a fussy product to try to work with and make sure that you get enough product on your face. I just didn't feel like when I'm using this, I don't feel successful with whatever I'm trying to accomplish. It just never seems to come to fruition. So yeah, this is, and honestly, I might even switch this around from the kit. I don't know. Doing this ranking, I'm looking at everything and I'm like, I hope I have everything in the right order, because, you know, your mind can change about things. But as of now, I'm placing this above the kit. But yeah, it's a finicky product. Next up is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. Now, this product, I feel like you either love this product or you don't. I feel like so many people are very indifferent to this foundation and they feel like it's a foundation. When you apply it, it's a foundation. I am of that camp. I don't dislike this product, but I'm not wowed by it. When I put it on, I'm like, okay, it's a foundation. I don't feel like it does anything amazing for my skin that makes me go, wow. And I do have foundations that do that, that aren't at this price point, because this is quite inexpensive. This is over $60. So this is a very expensive product. But I also know people who love this foundation. You know, Angelica Nyquist loves this foundation. A couple of other people on YouTube rave about this foundation. I just think it's a matter of preference for me. This is a light to light medium coverage foundation. It sits fine on the skin. I don't have any issues with that. I will say I think it lasts really, really well for such a non-full coverage foundation. I feel like it's incredibly, incredibly long lasting, and I've worn this on super hot days and it's lasted, and that is something that I can definitely say is a plus, a pro with this foundation, but I just don't feel like I'm wowed enough by it for the price point, so that's why it ranks fairly low for me. Next up is a product that I don't even think she has in her collection anymore, but I'm bringing it out because I still own it. And it is the Chromolux Highlight Cream. And I don't know if anyone remembers this product. Let me see if I can, so you guys can see. Do you guys remember this product? This is from the, I want to say it was the 2018, maybe 2018 holiday collection. When she came out with her first 4 quads full of special shades, she also came out with this highlight product, and I still own it, and so I'm like, I'm throwing it in. I'm gonna rank it. It's lovely. It is finicky to use. It's one of those tubes, and I'm not gonna open it because it'll just kind of go everywhere, but it's one of those tubes that the moment you puncture it, product just kind of oozes out, and it's hard to have control. I wish it was in a slightly more sophisticated component, but the actual shade is lovely. You can use it on your eyes. You can use it as a highlighter. I would say, you know, this to me is a better highlighter than this one when it comes to something that's sort of a liquid product. This is a good multi-purpose item. You can, like I said, you can use it as an eyeshadow and you can use it as a highlighter. I still have this. I refuse to decolor it because I think the shade is so pretty. I don't use it very often, but I think it's a beautiful, beautiful product. I'm going to give a shout out. I'm going to give a shout out to the Fetishized mascara. If I still own the Fetishized mascara, it would have been last in my ranking. The reason for that is it just didn't agree with my eyes. I have incredibly sensitive eyes, and Fetishized and I, we fought and Fetishized won. So we had to break up. So I wound up decluttering that because it's something in the formula of that mascara my eyes did not like. So that first mascara that she came out with is a no-go for me, and if I still owned it, it would be last. But Dark Star actually works perfectly fine, and nothing in this formulation irritates me, and I think this is a really nice mascara. My one gripe with this is that I feel like I liked it more when I first opened it than I do now. I've had this for a little while now. I'm probably going to declutter it just because it's time to sort of like, I've had it for a few months and it's been open, so I'm pretty strict about rotating mascaras out just for safety reasons. So I've had this one for a while and I think it's time to let it go. But I will say I enjoyed it the first like maybe 2 months that I had it open. I was loving it. This last, few times that I've used it, I haven't loved it as much, and I think it's just because it's gotten old and it's just not performing at the same level that it was when I first got it. But I think this is a really nice, if you love, that sort of really, lengthening, volumizing, big lash vibe, this will give you that. Next up is the Intensifies Artistry Wand. And I believe she came out with this when she came out with, I want to say, Utopian Dreams. I did not pick up Utopian Dreams, but I did pick up this. And I really enjoy this. I don't use it as much as I should. I tend to use like setting spray when I'm using shimmers on my eyes to sort of intensify them. And I often forget to grab this, but I do enjoy it. I would say that the clicker aspect of it is not my fave, the having to like to get it to rise up is a bit obnoxious. If you don't know what it looks like, it's just like this little clear little balm that you apply on the skin. It's completely clear. And then you apply your shadow over it. And it's really used to intensify like her special shades and her metallics. And it does do that. I wouldn't say that it helps with fallout all that much. I do still get a little bit of fallout with this, but I sometimes even get fallout if I use a glitter glue because her shades are so sparkly. So yeah, I think if you don't like glitter glue, you don't like the feeling of glitter glue, you might like this because it's a pretty lightweight, very easy to apply product. Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder, and I have the shade medium. Now, this isn't a bad product, and like I said, I have the shade medium, that's what it looks like. This isn't a bad product, it's just not a product that I use very often. It's such a finely milled powder. I mean, it is so silky, and it does a great job of blurring. I know this is a holy grail for a lot of people, not just for the under eyes. This is a product that works all over the face. I know a lot of people who use this all over their face. They don't even, you know, it's not an under eye powder to them. It's their powder. For me, I don't reach for this very much, mainly because I feel like the shade, even though it's the medium shade, it's still quite light for me, and the shade up from this is too dark. So I wish she'd had just like one more shade in this that I could work with, because I still feel like it can leave a bit of a cast. I feel like if I use too much of it, like it works for me under my eyes as a brightening blurring powder. I don't think I could make this work as an all over powder. I love her loose powder, and that if I still owned that, that would be ranked higher on this list than this one would, but I actually panned that late last year and I haven't repurchased it because I have other powders that I'm working through. But if you like a really brightening and you love a blurring effect, this is really nice. You don't get a lot of product in this because it's a tiny little pan, and it's really is meant for under eyes. So if you're using this all over your face, you're going to run through this pretty quickly. My other issue is that I think the packaging is a little dinky. You get this tiny little mirror. Like, what are you going to do with that? They could have left this out. We didn't need that. But yeah, I think maybe like a little puff or something would have been better than that mirror. But yeah, you don't get a lot of product in this. So if you want to use this all over your face, just understand that you're going to work through this quite quickly. Next up, like I said, if I still had her loose powder, it would be right after that one. I think it's a fantastic product, but I don't. So next up on my ranking are the Matte Trans lipsticks. And this one I have in the shade Fever Dream, and this is in one of her like special holiday packaging. This usually the tube is black, and I will show you what Fever Dream looks like. And I did a whole video of my entire Pat McGrath lipstick collection. So if you want to know all of the shades in my collection, there are videos. I have a Pat McGrath playlist, and it is on that playlist. But this is what Fever Dream looks like. I think this is, yeah, Fever Dream. Isn't that stunning? It's just like this burnt orange coral. Now, this used to be my favorite matte lipstick formula until I tried the Lisa Eldridge. And now that is my favorite. I don't dislike this one, but I notice quite significantly the difference as far as how dry the two are. This to me is much drier of a formula than the Lisa Eldridge. They're both matte, but I think this is the more matte of the two, and you feel that, the difference in that on your lips. However, I will say, just like the Lisa Eldridge, these will last on your lips. If you want a matte bullet lipstick and you want one that's not going to move around, this will stay on your lips. Period. I wore, it might have been this shade or another shade a couple days ago in a video, and then I applied a gloss over it. And I wore this the entire day. I ate, I drank, it was still on my lips, and at the end of the night, I was like rubbing it off. So this is a very long-lasting formula, and she has an amazing, an incredibly extensive shade range. If she still had her Luxe Trans lipsticks, which she does not, they would be ranked higher than this. I love her Luxe Trans. I purchased a ton of them. I kind of was hoarding them because they are no longer available, and I was trying to just get as many as I could, so I own a ton. I prefer that formula to the Matte Trans, but I still recommend the Matte Trans if you want a really nice matte bullet lipstick. Next up are her highlighters, and I have two formulas of her highlighters, but I'm putting them together in this ranking because I like them both equally. So since they're both highlighters, we'll talk about them both. So first up is the one that I purchased first, and it was the Divine Rose Skin Fetish Ultra Glow Highlighter. And this is what it looks like. It's stunning. It's like this shifty pink peachy tone, and I will swatch it for you on my hand here. And it's incredibly, I mean, you can kind of see the difference. So this is the one that's the balm, and this is the one that's from this highlighter. Look at the difference in intensity. And I dare say that this has a smoother finish, even though it is a powder. It's a baked formula, so it's definitely got like a smoother finish than like a traditional powder, but I just think this is such a stunning shade. And I have used this quite a bit. I think it's beautiful. I don't know. I've never panned a highlighter, so I highly doubt I'll be panning this one, but I still think it's stunning. And if you like a baked formula with an intense glow, a tense highlight, this is a good option. Next up is the newest one in my collection, and this is her Divine Glow Highlighter in Venus Nectar. And I know this was available when she did her little trio of blushes and highlighter. So there was the ones that had two blushes and a highlighter, and I know this was in one of those options. I did not purchase those, so I did not get to try this formula. So I picked this up when I bought my when she released these as singles and the Divine Blush Duos. I picked this one up, and this is the shade Venus Nectar, and that is it here. So can you see the difference in that? This is so intense, the baked formula, and this one is really glowy, but it's very soft in comparison. So they're different. You get different qualities from them, but they're both beautiful, and it's just a question of what you prefer and what you're in the mood for. Sometimes I'm really in the mood for a blinding highlight like this, and other times I want something really soft like that. And this one's got more gold to it. This is Venus Nectar is more of a peach tone, but it's so, and even still, like you can see, this is the balm one, and these are the powders, and these are just better. These are just better. This was my go-to concealer for a very, very long time, and that is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer, and this is the shade M15, which is the shade that I normally use. This was my go-to concealer for so long, and then I discovered the Kosas and a couple of other concealers that I've been using, but I've mostly just been using the Kosas. It's what I'm wearing now. I'm not wearing any foundation today. I'm just wearing the Kosas and then my bronzer and blush and all that good stuff. But this is my go-to. This is the thing about her complexion products. This is an incredibly light coverage foundation. This is an incredibly full coverage concealer, and I think her strategy with this is that you use this all over the skin to even it out, to give you a natural look. And if you have anything that you need to conceal, you go ham. You know, she gives you something that you can go ham with. You know, this is not messing around. This will cover everything. It is incredibly full coverage, but it's also lays on. It's not thick, it's not patchy, it doesn't look heavy on the skin, it blends beautifully. So even though you're getting full coverage, it is a very seamless full coverage, and that's what I liked about it, and it's what I still like about it. Like I said, I've used this recently, and I was actually blown away about how I had forgotten how full coverage it was, because I've been using the Kosas, which is a far more natural, you know, concealer, and it's creamier, it's a bit dewy, like dewier and wetter of a formula, whereas this one is one that I think you can wear and you wouldn't even have to set. It's not super matte, but it has a natural like matte satin finish, and you can just leave it and it'll set on its own, I feel like. So if you enjoy that type of formula, I highly recommend this. Next up are her Perma Gel Ultra Lip Pencils. I own a crap ton of these. I own them in so many shades. I'm throwing up 3 shades that I love here. Here's my beloved contour, which I lost, guys, or I thought I had lost, and then I rediscovered it today. I can't tell you my joy. Look how little bitty it is, though. Like, this is how much of this product I've used. It's ridiculous. But my other 2 faves are Done Undone and then Deep Dive, which is a very dark brown. And then Done Undone is this like really nude, pinky nude. I don't even think you can see it on my skin, but that's it right there. I love these pencils. They do not budge. They do not budge. They do not budge. There's a reason why they're called Perma Gel. They don't budge. I love them. And her shade range is fantastic. They are on the pricey side. I believe her pencils are like $22 to $24 each. They are not cheap. So if you have shades in a, you know, a less expensive formulation that you enjoy, that you can kind of compare, stick with those. You don't have to spend $22 or $24 on a lip pencil. But having said that, these pencils are fantastic. And if you are fine with that price point, I highly recommend them. Next up are the Lust Gloss lip glosses from Miss Pat. And these are one of my favorite things she's ever released. I'm wearing one now. I'm wearing Faux Real, which is also here. I own about 5 or 6 of these. They are stunning. It was her formulation that made me fall in love with glosses that have shimmer in them. I never liked that before. I never saw the purpose of them. I always liked an opaque, non-shimmer gloss. I didn't see the point. These, however, changed my mind. I am wearing Faux Real today with just lip liner. I filled in my lips with contour, and I just went over the edges a little bit with a bit of BFF3 from ColourPop. But this over a lipstick, I've worn this over Gucci's Penny Beige. Stunning. I've worn this over her shade Lust Angeles from her Luxe Trans line. Stunning. I've worn it with pencil. Stunning. I wouldn't wear these on their own. They can be very samey on their own because they're so sheer. But when you pair them with a pencil that's got a little bit of the same undertone, they just come to life. And the formulation is so comfortable on the lips. There's no stickiness. They last. I've been drinking an AHA. It's still on my lips. I love this gloss. I think it's a beautiful formulation, and I love the tones that she has come out with. This is on the pricey side, but I think these are worth it. I think they're beautiful. And again, you don't get like the white line or the like strings that you often get with lip gloss. And I can apply some so you guys can see what it looks like. It's just so comfy on the lips. I love this formula. This is the formula that made me fall in love with lip gloss, because I was not a lip gloss girl until I tried. I mean, this is the original Divine blush, or blushes, but you guys know what shade this is, right? You know. But the formulation is what I'm ranking here, and the formulation is stunning. This is my beloved Desert Orchid. If you can see how high up this ranks as opposed to the blush duos, and you kind of understand what I'm saying here. But this shade here is absolutely stunning. It's my go-to. It's beautiful, but I also love the other shades in the range. I have 2 other shades. I have Electric Bloom and Paradise Venus, and I love them both. Her formulation is so beautiful. It's pigmented, but it blends beautifully. It lasts. This I love. This is one of my all-time favorite blushes in my entire collection. I wear it all the time. It's beautiful, and it is ranked number 2 in this ranking. So what do you guys think is number 1? I wonder. I mean, come on. What did you think it was going to be? Did you think I was going to do a ranking and not talk about the motherships? Come on, man. It's the motherships, but not just the motherships. Her eyeshadow formulation in general is what I rank number 1. I'm bringing this one out because this is my favorite mothership, and so, you know, Subliminal, my fave. I'm currently doing a series on my channel where I do a day look on one eye and a night look on the other with all of the motherships that I own, which is 1 through 8. I'm currently just finished up 3, and we will be moving on to Decadence. I think that will be going up next week. So if you want to see that, that is on my Pat McGrath playlist as well. But yes, her eyeshadow formulation is my favorite thing in the Pat McGrath collection. It ranks number 1 with a cherry on top, with fireworks. Number 1, Pat McGrath eyeshadow. Pat McGrath eyeshadow formulation. All right, guys, so that is literally everything that I own from Pat McGrath. And I even talked about things I didn't own anymore. But let me know in the comments down below. Did I talk about any of your favorite products in this little ranking that I did here? Are there products that you didn't realize she had in her collection that has caught your eye in this video? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you are not subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.